What is meant by the term Old English period?
The Old English period, 450 to 1066, refers to the earliest phase of English literature, marked by Anglo-Saxon poetry and prose. Works were written in Old English, a Germanic language. Literature from this period focused on heroism, warfare, religion, and fate. Major works include Beowulf and writings by King Alfred.
What is Beowulf and why is it important?
Beowulf is the oldest surviving epic poem in English literature. It narrates the heroic deeds of Beowulf as he fights monsters like Grendel and the dragon. Its importance lies in its rich depiction of Anglo-Saxon culture, themes of bravery and loyalty, and early poetic style.
What changes marked the Middle English period?
After the Norman conquest, 1066, English absorbed many French and Latin words. Literature shifted from heroic poetry to romance, allegory, and religion. Writers like Chaucer, Langland, and the Pearl Poet produced works in a more recognizable English.
Why is Geoffrey Chaucer called the father of English literature?
Chaucer used the English vernacular, Middle English, for major literary works at a time when French and Latin dominated. His masterpiece, The Canterbury Tales, showcased a wide range of human characters and set the foundation for English poetic tradition.
What is humanism in the Renaissance?
Humanism was a cultural movement emphasizing human potential, classical learning, and individualism. Renaissance writers like Shakespeare, Spenser, and Marlowe reflected humanist ideas by exploring human emotions, reason, ambition, and moral choices.
How did the Renaissance influence English drama?
The Renaissance revived classical ideas, encouraged creativity, and expanded dramatic themes. Playwrights like Shakespeare and Marlowe introduced complex characters, poetic language, and psychological depth shaping modern drama.
What is the significance of Shakespeare in English literature?
Shakespeare revolutionized English drama and poetry. His plays explore universal themes: love, ambition, power, jealousy, and fate. He enriched the English language with new words and expressions and created unforgettable characters like Hamlet, Macbeth, and Othello.
What are the characteristics of metaphysical poetry?
Metaphysical poetry, represented by John Donne and George Herbert, uses complex metaphors, conceits, philosophical ideas, wit, and paradoxes. Themes include love, religion, death, and spirituality. The poetry challenges readers intellectually.
What is the Restoration period known for?
The Restoration, 1660 onwards, restored the monarchy under Charles II. Literature revived drama, especially comedy of manners. Writers like Dryden and Congreve explored wit, satire, and social behavior. Theatres reopened after years of Puritan rule.
What is a comedy of manners?
A comedy of manners satirizes the behavior, fashion, and social norms of the upper classes. It uses witty dialogue, clever plots, and characters obsessed with reputation. Restoration playwrights like Congreve mastered this form.
What defines the Augustan Age?
The Augustan Age, early 18th century, emphasized reason, order, clarity, and classical ideals. Writers like Pope, Swift, and Addison produced satire, essays, and poetry. The period is known for The Rape of the Lock, Gulliver's Travels, and The Spectator.
Why is Jonathan Swift important?
Jonathan Swift is known for his masterful satire. His works, especially Gulliver's Travels, criticize politics, human nature, and society. Swift's sharp wit and moral seriousness made him a major voice of the 18th century.
What is Romanticism?
Romanticism, late 18th, early 19th century, emphasized emotion, imagination, nature, individuality, and rebellion against industrialization. Major poets include Wordsworth, Coleridge, Shelley, Keats, and Byron.
What makes Wordsworth a key Romantic poet?
Wordsworth celebrated nature as a spiritual teacher. His lyrical ballads, with Coleridge, began the Romantic movement. He used simple language and focused on common life, emotions, and personal experience.
What are the main features of Victorian literature?
Victorian literature, 1837 to 1901, reflected social issues like class, morality, industry, and progress. The novel flourished with writers such as Dickens, Eliot, and Hardy. Themes included realism, moral responsibility, and the struggles of ordinary people.
Why is Charles Dickens famous?
Dickens wrote socially conscious novels depicting poverty, injustice, and the lives of common people. His works blend humor, memorable characters, and moral lessons. Oliver Twist, A Christmas Carol, and David Copperfield are classics. What characterizes the pre-Raphaelite movement? Pre-Raphaelites, Rossetti, Morris, Swinburne, rejected industrial modernity and embraced medieval themes, vivid imagery, and emotional intensity. Their poetry and art focused on beauty, spirituality, and symbolism.
What is modernism in literature?
Modernism, early 20th century, broke traditional forms. It experimented with stream of consciousness, fragmented structure, symbolism, and psychological depth. Writers like Joyce, Woolf, Eliot, and Conrad shaped this movement.
Why is T.S. Eliot important?
T.S. Eliot transformed modern poetry with works like The Waste Land. His poems express the disillusionment of the modern world through symbolism, myth, and innovative structure. He influenced generations of poets.
What is stream of consciousness?
It is a narrative technique that represents a character's inner thoughts and mental flow. Writers like Virginia Woolf and James Joyce used it to explore psychological depth and subjective experience.
What is postmodernism?
Postmodernism, late 20th century, challenges traditional narratives, embraces fragmentation, metafiction, irony, and playfulness. Writers like Salman Rushdie, Julian Barnes, and Thomas Pynchon represent this style.
What is the significance of the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle?
The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle is a collection of historical records in Old English. It provides important information about early English history, culture, kings, and events, making it a valuable literary and historical source.
What is an allegory? Give an example from English literature.
An allegory is a story with deeper symbolic meaning beyond the surface narrative. John Bunyan's The Pilgrim's Progress is a Christian allegory where characters represent virtues, vices, and spiritual struggles.
What was the impact of the printing press on English literature?
The printing press allowed books to be mass-produced, making literature accessible to more people. It spread literacy, standardized the English language, and encouraged new genres like novels, essays, and newspapers.
How did colonialism influence English literature?
Colonialism expanded English cultural encounters with new lands, people, and ideas. Writers like Kipling supported empire, while later authors like Conrad and post-colonial writers, Achebe Rushdie, critiqued its impact.
Thanks for watching. If you found these questions helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Full study notes and more English literature videos are coming. See you in the next class.